Hi, I'm the wine,
And hi, I'm the rum.
and today we'd like to talk about something we get asked about a lot. So, if you didn't know, I'm from Austria, Sam's from Barbados, and we moved together as expat couple to Dublin, and that's where we live now. So, one of our most popular videos is actually about our move to Dublin, about how much it cost, and people who know us very well know how nerdy we can get with our finance and our Excel sheets.
More her than me, if we're being honest.
Both of us. He's just lying to himself. We're both huge nerds. Or at least we're also trying to get better at being like nerdy about our finances and stuff. So do subscribe if you're interested in that as well, because we will be talking about our progress on this channel. But our financy topic for today is what people ask us a lot about is like, how much does it actually cost to live in Dublin as a couple? And as it happens, we have a handy Excel sheet to check back for our 2018 expenses to tell you exactly about that. So let's dig into what our biggest expenses were in 2018. Hi, I'm Julia, the wine.
Hi, I'm Samora, the rum.
We met in London, fell in love, and moved to Ireland.
We share tips on being an expat, travel, cultural experiences, and living life efficiently. So obviously, anyone who's actually living in Dublin or thinking of moving to Dublin, Ireland, knows about the biggest expense there is, rent. You'd have heard about the rent crisis and how rents are rising, etc. What actually happened is that in 2017, we were living in a shared flat, but for 2018, our expenses rose because we moved out to our own apartment, and that raised the price by an incredible 50% on our rent. Yeah, so the number should have paired there at the bottom. We can't remember all the figures exactly in our head. We're going to link to a blog article where you can see the exact figures and the rundown. But for now, whenever we mention numbers in post, I'll just be putting up how much on average it costs. So look forward to that. So luckily or unluckily, we're living in a rent pressure zone, which in Dublin means that the rent goes up by 4% each year. So it's not a great increase as 2018 was to, that whole 50%. It's 4% this year. And unfortunately, if you're living in Dublin, that's going to be the pattern. Just 4% each year until this whole crisis kind of sorts itself out somehow.
So our second biggest expense is food. So like Sam already talked about in the beginning, about almost halfway through 2018, we're still living in a shared house, which meant there was one kitchen for 5 people, actually 6 people for some of the time. That makes it not that motivating to cook. So we also spent a lot more money in the first half of 2018 on takeout, which is not necessarily the most healthiest thing to do. So when we moved into our own flat, one thing we really wanted to do is start spending less time, or less money on takeout, and actually spending more time and money on making our own food to also just have a healthier lifestyle. Obviously that also affected our cost because the trend continues in 2019 now that we've been here in our own flat all year, is that we're saving a lot of money on takeout because we don't have to go eat takeout all the time because we have a big kitchen is ridiculous because the kitchen is tiny.
That was not a big kitchen
it's our own kitchen. We can cook, we can leave stuff and not worry about stuff. We have an entire fridge just for our leftovers. And basically, so our grocery number is actually a bit higher this year than last year, but takeout numbers are much lower. So depending on your lifestyle, that might be entirely different for you.
Yeah, speaking of takeout, I should probably include like going to pubs and general socializing, things like that. We don't do too much of it, especially with pubs. Being from, I guess, it's fair to say, alcohol drinking countries.
Hence the channel name.
We're not alcoholics, I promise. Yeah, despite the channel name, we don't drink that much, and it's also pretty expensive. The weird thing is that it's Dublin, you kind of go out, you go to pubs, you hang out with your friends, but that can be pretty costly. The thing is, by not doing that, I've actually saved a lot of money on takeout. On drinks and stuff, it's amazing. You take one night out to the pub, that's like poof, 20, 30 quid gone. Not even include if the place has an entrance fee, so pretty nice way to save money that way.
Yeah, like a pint could cost you like €6. So imagine you want to have more than just one pint. Or the one thing that you can't forget with Irish culture is that you're kind of supposed to buy a round for everyone, which is always very intimidating to us because if every one of us is going to buy a round, how many pints do we have to drink? We can't drink that many pints in one night.
Totally. It's not about how much it costs. It's like, hi, that's a lot of alcohol to be drinking at this point in time and still wake up and be productive the next day. But segue, speaking in to be productive, wait, does anyone remember Segways? Sorry, that's a tangent. What? Not Segway, the riding thing. We're talking about transport again. So
that was a nice pun you just ruined there, but go on.
Let's forget about that. Cut! So luckily, as we pointed out in one of our other videos about finding a flat in Dublin, we specifically selected the apartment so that we can minimize on transport costs as well to kind of offset the rent. So our transport costs are very little because since we walk to and from work and even to the supermarket, our main travel costs are actually on spending money on buses and trains for day trips, as well as trips to the airport, as well, taking taxis or your buses, and for certain places where, we just don't want to walk in the nice rain. I was going to say hot sun, I remember which country I'm in. Sorry, the Irish weather jokes are not going to stop anytime soon, so deal with it.
So our next biggest amount of costs is stuff like clothes, toiletries, bills, those kind of things. To be honest, they're probably relatively low because if you don't know, there's such a thing called pennies. In Ireland, you may know it as Primark. It's just generally like it's easy enough to get cheap clothes, and also people hate shopping for clothes, so that keeps costs down.
Yeah, the one change with that I've started doing since, pennies isn't about quality a lot of the time. And, one of the other videos I mentioned about stuff being waterproof, I'm just kind of like doing this cool, like, productivity thing where I would, like, get a more expensive pants that's waterproof that I can wear multiple times. Yeah, I'll probably show you in the gear that we went to Austria for another video or something, but I'm running with nonsense. Back to the conversation. Sorry about that.
So our next biggest expense is entertainment, and you'll probably be like, wow, what a boring couple, like how did they spend that little money on entertainment? To be fair, like we mentioned before, we don't go drinking out that much a lot, which is one of the main socializing things to do here. It's like if you go for a coffee instead, well, depending on where you go, probably much cheaper. Also, to be fair, like a lot of the entertainment that we do on weekends is we go on walks, on day trips, so that actually goes all into our transport costs, so it's a bit hidden here. Pretty much what we spend our entertainment budget on is stuff like Netflix, Spotify, your usual millennial subscriptions.
Yeah, subscriptions, lots of different subscriptions to some apps and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of like where the money goes. Pretty
much. It's like, other than that, there's ebooks. And I'd love to say cinema tickets, but we're horrible at actually making it to the cinema. It's like, we'll constantly be like, oh, that's a movie we want to watch. And we're like, we'll go next week. Next week. Oh, wait. Oh, they're not showing it anymore. So I guess we won't see it in cinemas. It's like 1 year we literally went on New Year's Eve to the cinema to have watched at least one movie.
Yep. Just for that year, like, yeah, we made it. I think that was 2017.
Yeah.
And lastly, our final set of costs, really some of those other costs, more like health stuff mostly, things that aren't covered by health insurance, or actually your health insurance costs if it's not provided by your workplace, dentists and checkups and that sort of thing. Our other costs would have been travel as well, so that would be in a separate category. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps up all the general costs.
So yeah, if you want to know some more details about rent in different areas, what it's like, any other costs, just let us know in the comments and we're happy to do more videos.
Yeah. Anything about more living costs in Ireland? Let us know. And with that, bid you adieu. Bis später.
See you next time!